welcome to the first ever STEM edition of Hack the Classroom. My name is Trish Malines-DeZico, and I am your host for today. For the first 2 days, you will be preparing for Hour of Code, with 2 days of lessons organized by grade level. Now, on day 3 is a digital career day with inspiring guest speakers from a variety of STEM fields. This will give you an opportunity to connect Hour of Code to real life. It's going to be a fun day for everybody, a fun time for everybody. It will serve an academic purpose, but more importantly, it's a way for you to level up your relationship building skills with your students and colleagues. Have fun, and I'll see you all at the end of the day. Thank you.
I'm Michelle Zimmerman from Renton Prep in the United States, and I'm here with 2 of my students. Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Alexandra. And I'm Gabriella.
And we'd like to talk to you about some of the things that have been transpiring over this school year. For the past 10 years, I've been working with technology in education and trying various different concepts that we've really wanted to push the boundaries. And this year for us, it's been HyFlex model. One of those HyFlex experiences gave students who are fully remote, like Alexandra and Gabriella, a chance to see some of the supplies and resources that they wouldn't be able to have at home. And so I have them here as experts because even though I can do research and investigations and observe things that are happening in the classroom, the best experts to talk about the experience of engagement are the students themselves. They're the ones who are right in the middle of the action. So, can you tell me a little bit of what it felt like to be part of a HyFlex experiment with a light lab?
It was a little bit hard at first, getting to know everything and all the apps and how it worked, but I think now I'm getting used to it. There are many new updates and new apps we were using. Confusion.
And this is the first year that you've had a math teacher who's fully remote and you're fully remote and learning something with coding and technology and math all mixed together.
It's easier in class because you can just tell the person that right there. But a lot of times when you're remote and you have a question in class, you can just tell the person right away and fix what you need to do.
Those are great examples and highlight some of the challenges it feels for a teacher, because when everyone's in person, you can walk around the room, you can see who needs other support, and if someone's behind a screen or if a computer dies, or if the teacher is working with a group of students in person or on a remote call, it's hard to see everyone at once. Like when we did the bubble photography, and then we had real life experience of a professional photography setup in there. And if you couldn't see something, or if you had a connection with the documentary we watched on the science of bubbles, what inspires you to come off of mute and ask a question?
What inspired me was that, I've never seen that before. So once I see it, I have so many questions to ask that I can just come off mute, say it, and they're right there to listen to it because it's live. Yeah, usually when I see unexpected things, for example, the bubble photography, I still always think of bubbles differently. I was always it's just maybe a soapy ball flying in the air. But when my sister was blowing the bubble, and a few times it landed on the floor, and we were like, whoa, it's changing color. And then it showed a sunset, and then the galaxy, and then all these other color schemes. We gotta ask questions how this works and why.
And then our team's call when we were recording in HyFlex, Alexandra, you made some great connections with that science documentary and said you saw the swirls that looked similar to Jupiter and planets, and how people were using bubbles to help them understand math and science when they couldn't actually travel to those planets.
The bubbles looked like Jupiter's storm. So the surface, I remembered it because I was like, that is so weird when you think of this least expected object to be, discovering what storm is going to come next in Jupiter.
And for teachers, we want to figure out ways to capture your learning in that moment before a bubble burst or before the colors swirl to something different. And one of those ways is by creating little documentaries or process journals or ways to document your learning. Any of those examples that you want to talk about?
whenever, like, when we were doing the carving pumpkins project, and once we were painting pumpkins, my brother, when we were doing it, he got inspired and said, "Oh my God, Mama, you have to buy me a pumpkin so that I can do that too." Yeah, he would walk around with a paintbrush. He's like, "Do you need help with anything? Do you need help?" And we're like, "Yeah, sure, paint here, paint there." And then he'd get distracted for 10 minutes.
You just gave a perfect example of how learning happens in the presence of other humans. As part of us being a Microsoft Showcase school, we're wanting to continually transform and be part of that transformation framework. And part of that is social emotional learning and unexpected learning environments and situations, different ways that we can use technology. Is there any other example that you wanted to share that worked well for you to help you stay engaged?
The Hologram project. All you need is a special container and a special video, and all you do is put the container on top of a smartphone or a tablet. When you make an example of how it would look, then you say to yourself, "Wow, that's so cool. I'm gonna try myself," and make it myself. And then even when the project is over, you still have that strategy in your head, in your mind. So then later on, you can still try and do it. Yeah.
Was there another project that you wanted to share or another example that you had?
The project called Camera Obscura.
Yes.
It was a project where the Camera Obscura, I think, was the first camera. There's a pinhole, and then when you put your eye to it, you see what's out there, but instead it's like upside down. So we got to learn how it worked and made documentation in this way, and we also got to make it. One of the things I like about all the projects we're getting assigned to is that they're so easy. You can make them at home. You could just gather maybe some boxes or something to make that right setting for the bubble photography.
I think those are really great ideas, and I like how you're mentioning different things that were in OneNote, because all those criteria pages and the remote learning becomes part of a OneNote collection, and that you have a space to be able to collaborate and check off boxes to make sure you've met that criteria. And then you've used Sway, you've used Minecraft, you've used PowerPoint to be able to share those ideas and concepts with people. What is your favorite tool to use when you're working remotely?
OneNote and Sway. OneNote because I can just make myself a schedule, and Sway because I can just make an easy presentation, add things from my file. It's just so easy because PowerPoint is a little more complicated, although I like the special effects they have. But Sway could be at least a 20-minute process for basics to put everything in, which is super easy and fun because you could pick any format you want, and there's old style and modern and different templates. I like Teams because I just have everything on the site, so it just tells me chat, calls, history, and calendar and assignments.
Yeah. So do you have anything else that you wanted to say that you wish teachers would know, or that you wish other adults would know what it's like to be a student?
One thing is sometimes there are many calls that overlap each other, so I don't get as focused because I get distracted. For example, with Mr. Morris, I'm like, whoa, that's so cool, and then for the past hour, I'm still thinking about it. About that camera, about that bubble. I'm like...
So that part's good news, that it gets you thinking about something that you're learning, but frustrating if you're so excited about it that it's hard to change your mind to another topic.
One thing that I wish was that we had more time, because just like she said, the calls are overlapping a lot of times, and I'm like, which one do I go to?
And I wanted to give you another compliment. You're doing a great job staying engaged through some really challenging things. You're helping us blaze new trails and set new ideas for high flex learning, and helping us understand what it's like from that side of the learning situation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you both so much. You gave some great ideas, insights, and some things that are helpful for me, but also for a lot of educators who want to know your perspective.
You're welcome. This counts for extra credit, right?
Well, the best thing about this is the learning experience you had for doing this.
Bye. Bye.